Hi everyone, it's Miss Patti from the Goffstown Public Library. Thanks for joining our video on how to make a DIY glass luminary jar using some very basic, simple materials. And trust me, if I can make this luminary jar, you can make this luminary jar. So the materials that you'll need for this are a mason jar, really of any size of your choosing. You don't technically even need the lid, the ring, or the lid, and it can be new or old. The idea is you just want to make sure it's clean. So a mason jar or any glass jar, some colored tissue paper. I'm going to be using green and blue, and I've cut it into squares. I've got a few triangles and different types of shapes. So colored tissue paper, any color of your choosing. Some Mod Podge, a paintbrush, or in my case I'm using a foam brush, and a battery operated tea light, although technically you could use a regular tea light inside your jar as well, but I'm choosing to use a battery operated one. All right, so I am back. So let's get started. I'm going to move my lid and my ring over to the side because I don't need that right now, and I'm going to open up my Mod Podge. And the idea, or at least how I approached it, was to do one side of the jar at a time. If you apply the Mod Podge to the entire surface of the jar before you're ready to put all the tissue paper on, it will start drying. So I just do basically one side at a time. So I'm going to take my foam brush and I'm just dipping it just a little bit on the edge. And I'm going to take this brush, and you're not going to put any Mod Podge on the where the rings would go, on the screw part of the jar. And I'm just going to apply a very thin coating of Mod Podge over the whole surface. And then I'm just going to haphazardly start attaching or putting on, applying, I guess is the right word, some tissue paper. And I'm going to cover the whole surface of everything that I just put on, and we're overlapping. Now I've only put about 3 pieces on. I'm going to take just a little bit more Mod Podge, and I'm going to start going over the tissue paper just to hold it in place. There we go. And you're going to do this kind of delicately and gently. I'm doing quick little flicking movements because you don't want the tissue paper, you don't want to press so hard that you push the tissue paper off of the jar. All right, so I've already got 3 pieces on there. Some more. And again, you're going to need to overlap. The idea is to cover all of the glass. You don't want any glass peeking through. So again, I've put about 3 or 4 more pieces on. I'm going to put a little bit more Mod Podge on here. Starting to look. I'm almost there on this side. I probably have about 5 or 6 more pieces. Now I've got a couple of places where the glass is coming through. Let's see. I need a smaller piece of blue. I'm just going to rip this one in half. All right, I'm already almost done with one whole side. Okay, so now you're going to check for wrinkles. I've got a couple of little wrinkles. I don't know if you can see them in my tissue paper, which do give it a little bit more of a textured look. So it's fine to have some wrinkles. I'm just going to try to gently smooth them out. And there we go. I'm putting one layer of Mod Podge over everything I've done. This will be the final coat. and then I will continue on the other 3 sides of the jar just as I did with this one. And once you're all done with that, and you've put the final top coat on all the way around, you let your jar sit and dry, I would say a good hour, and it will dry. It won't look milky white anymore. It will look like this. So as you can see, you can't tell that there was ever Mod Podge on it. It dries to a clear effect. And then I've got my little battery operated tea light. And I put it in there. A little tricky. And I don't know if you can get the effect. Do you see it glowing in there? In the dark it looks really cool. And that's it. You have your do-it-yourself glass luminary. Have fun, and remember you can use any size jar. I mentioned a mason jar. Really, it doesn't even have to be a mason jar. It can be any clear jar that you have. Some colored tissue paper, any colors of your choice, a battery-operated tea light or a regular tea light, and an applicator brush, as well as some Mod Podge. Have fun and have a great day.